Welcome to the What to Expect series, a parent's guide to understanding the special education process. In this video, we will be talking about the IEP meeting and will focus on three main topics. These topics include what should parents expect at the IEP meeting, who are the team members and what roles do they play, and how might parents provide input at the IEP team meeting. Let's begin with what parents should expect during the IEP meeting. IEP meetings should be individualized to the unique needs of the student and goals of the IEP team. But there are some common things that happen in every IEP meeting. First, team members should introduce themselves to ensure everyone is familiar with names and roles. And team attendance should be documented. This is usually completed at the end of the meeting by obtaining signatures from all those present during the meeting. Second, the purpose of the meeting should be stated so that it is clear why the team is meeting and what will be discussed. Before the team begins the meeting, parents should be offered a copy of the Procedural Safeguards Notice. This outlines parents' rights as established by the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, IDEA. Procedural Safeguards Notice needs to be offered to parents at least annually, which is why parents are usually offered a copy at the annual IEP meeting. Throughout the meeting, the team should address all components of the IEP, ensuring that every team member has the opportunity to provide input and ask questions. The school team will then complete written notice to provide additional documentation of what the team discussed during the meeting. Once the IEP is finalized, a copy of the IEP and accompanying written notice will be provided to the parent. Now let's talk about who the required IEP team members are and the roles they each play. IDEA requires that the parent or adult student, district representative, special education teacher, and general education teacher must be part of the development of the IEP and therefore must attend the IEP meeting. The team may also consider inviting additional team members or individuals who can interpret assessment results. Later in this video, we will discuss who those additional members may be and when they should be included in the IEP meeting. IDEA requires that parents are full and equal participants in the development of the IEP. The parent is a valuable member of the IEP team as they generally know the student best. They can speak to the strengths and needs of the student as well as long-term goals. The parent may also share information regarding strategies and supports that have been successful for the student in the past, which can help the team determine what types of services and supports to provide in the school setting. When the team begins to develop a student's secondary transition IEP and set goals beyond high school, the student must be invited to attend. This is usually beginning with the IEP that will be in place when the student turns 16. The student can contribute to the development of their own IEP by sharing interests, goals, and preferred supports. Even if the student doesn't attend, the team needs to take other steps to make sure their interests and preferences are considered. The student, as well as the parent, are strong advocates, which is why it is important that they be included in the IEP team. Next is the district representative. This may be an administrator or designee, such as the school principal. The individual in this role carries a lot of authority and therefore ensures the IEP is implemented as it was determined by the IEP team. They should also have a solid understanding of special education as they may act as the process leader should the team need guidance on next steps. Additionally, the district representative understands the resources that are available to the student within the district or school and can help the team determine how to allocate those resources to support the IEP. Lastly, as a leader, they can help ensure that the meeting stays on track, meaning that the team stays focused on the student. The special education teacher is the designated case manager of the IEP. For a student who is only receiving speech or language services, the case manager is likely to be a speech-language pathologist. The individual in this position, generally the special education teacher, guides the team in the development of the IEP. Therefore, they understand the components of the IEP and are generally responsible for contacting team members to schedule the meeting. For a student who has been receiving special education services, the special education teacher can provide input on the student's current performance. They can share various instructional strategies that may help support IEP goals and even provide suggestions for accommodations or adaptations to support the student across school settings. The general education teacher is another required member of the IEP team. The team relies on the knowledge of the general education teacher as they are the experts on grade level standards, content, and overall expectations. They can provide a lot of valuable input on how the student is performing in the classroom and compared to same grade peers. This includes current performance in academic domains, social, emotional, and behavioral skills, as well as functional or adaptive skills. The general education teacher can also provide suggestions for accommodations and strategies for inclusion. In some cases, the team might need to include individuals who can interpret assessment results. This may include, but is not limited to, when reviewing assessments from outside reports, additional assessments conducted through the reassessment process, or a functional behavior assessment. The individual invited must be a professional or certified district employee who is qualified to interpret specific information. For example, if parents bring in a report from an outside speech therapist, the team will need to invite the school speech-language pathologist to the meeting, as they would be the qualified individual to interpret that information. These individuals should also be invited any time the team is discussing related services. Here is another example. If the student is receiving related services to address fine motor skills, then the school occupational therapist should be included in the IEP meeting to address fine motor needs. Ultimately, a qualified individual must be present to help the team address some of those specific needs. Last are any additional team members who are considered by IDEA to be knowledgeable persons, meaning they have relevant information about the student that would be important for the team to know when developing the IEP. This individual may have experience working with the student or has helped to implement some part of the IEP. Examples of additional team members include related service providers, transition agency or Part C representatives, behavior interventionists, paraprofessionals, school nurse, and so on. When determining who should be included, the team may consider the following: what goals the student is working towards, what special education or related services and supports the student may be receiving, information needed to address special considerations, or other concerns the team may have regarding the student, and who may be able to help address those areas of concern. Next, let's discuss how parents might provide input at IEP team meetings. In preparation for the meeting, we recommend that parents take the time before the meeting to write down their questions and/or concerns they wish to share with the team. Second, if there have been any changes in the student's medical or developmental history or other important health updates, be sure to share that information with the team as it may be important to include in the IEP. Third, as the team discusses each component of the IEP, be sure to ask for clarification. School team members want to assist parents in building their understanding of the special education process. Therefore, be open and willing to ask questions if you don't understand. Lastly, be sure to reach out to the IEP case manager or school team to request copies of documents. Finalized copies are provided to parents after the meeting, but remember that you can ask for additional copies at any time. Before we wrap up, let's review what we've covered in this video. The purpose of the IEP meeting is to address current performance and develop an IEP that supports the individual strengths and needs of the student. This is a collaborative effort made by the IEP team, which includes those required members as well as any additional members who may have expertise or knowledge regarding the student. Last and most important, parents' input is valuable. Participating in the process will help ensure that the IEP is appropriately developed for your student. For more information about special education, check out the Parent Resources page on the Idaho Training Clearinghouse.